Exciting.
Oh
Cool,
my
cool, cool.
gosh.
So let me know once you're settled down so that we can start.
We're good. Let's get
Cool,
into
great.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's have some fun.
Cool. Great. So let's start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this special edition of Insta Live. We are going to explore a very common topic, a very common problem which is prevalent across the globe: stress and anxiety. The stress and anxiety is prevalent across all age groups, sex, region, religion, and almost every second person is suffering from stress and anxiety. If I talk about the numbers published by World Health Organization, 284 millions of people across the globe are facing this challenge. So looking at the number, you can easily visualize how big this problem is. But don't worry, we have an exciting solution to explore: access bars. And today we have an expert with us, Akeisha from Vancouver, Canada. So
Hello.
Akeisha is an access bars facilitator and a body process practitioner with access consciousness. She is someone who is an amazing dancer. She loves connecting to people and always eager to help people change their life. She walks the talk. She has successfully crossed this journey from anxiety to peace. So I welcome you, Akeisha, today on this Insta Live. And I'm really thankful to you. This is very early morning for you. And then you managed to get up and come here on the live. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. This topic of anxiety is an interesting one, and throughout
Yes.
my journey, my professional development journey, as they might call it, and then finding access, it's been interesting to reframe what anxiety is and no longer identify with that word, but also realize a lot of people have just identified with it and made it part of their life in a way that's not working
Correct.
for them. And so when I found bars, I was like, oh, I don't have to sit here in, the poop and the gunk and the muck of whatever this is, and I can reframe it, and I can also help my brain out, and I can connect with humans. And so, yeah, it's a great topic. And so thank you for having me. Sorry, everybody, I kept you delayed with internet. I'm trying to be
It's okay.
courteous of the time to the house.
Yeah, yeah. I understand. So thank you so much, Akeisha. And before we deep dive into this topic and discuss how bars can help us, would you like to share your journey? I know you are out of stress and anxiety now, but at one point of time, what level of stress and anxiety were you facing, and what was going in your mind at that point of time? Because that is something which everyone would able to relate to, because everyone has gone through that particular time.
Yeah. First of all, just a reframe of out of. I don't think I'm ever out of. I do get anxiety. I do find myself back in it. I do get stress, but it's completely different. It is life is going to be anxiety.
I guess
But this
your internet is again unstable.
sorry. Um, how are we doing here? Are we good here? No.
Yeah, we are good now. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'll just stand right here. So I don't think we're ever fully out of it, as in you're still going to have life thrown at you. The past few years have been nothing but things thrown at us. But it is so interesting how short of a time I stay in those states, or how when I catch myself projecting the future, because anxiety is about the future. When I start projecting that, I can go, whoa, look what I'm doing again. How cool is that? And it's not a It's not a label on me. It's not a judgment on me. And so where I was back when I was all the way up until I was like 28, I identified with being a very stressed, overwhelmed,
Okay.
and anxious person. And I would say my stress, anxiety, and overwhelm was anywhere fluctuating on any given day from a 10 to a 20. Like if 1 to 10 is your limit, I was like sitting at 20.
Oh,
But
really? That's great.
I wasn't somebody who would identify with that being a problem. So I'm
Mhm.
I'm not on medication. I'm not outwardly saying I'm having a problem. My life was frantic and I was waking up stressed. I was waking up being like, oh my God, I've all the, like the world, I don't have enough time. What am I doing? And my skin was all breaking out. I wasn't having fun in life. I was putting on
Okay.
a mask for people. And so now with the tool of bars and learning how to reframe a lot of things and the tools I can use in the moments, in the sentences, in every 10 seconds, these tools help keep you forward moving but present. And
Mhm.
I would say when I have, my days are more joyful and playful now. And when I do have a stressful moment like traveling or moving countries, I
Okay.
can go, oh, I can have fun with this
Yeah. Right.
instead of why is this happening? I can't handle this. Like those old thoughts. So that's my journey.
Right, right. When you were telling your journey, it reminded me how I have gone into a stress and anxiety phase multiple times in my life, and
Yes.
I tried different options, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was able to come out. But again, the cycle repeated because of the reason could be multiple: the work pressure, the family, the relationship, the
Mm-hmm.
finances,
Mm-hmm.
anything, even the geographical challenges, the political challenges, everything contributes to your level of stress. So I was able to relate to you what you just said. And now we would like to understand how Access Bar help you alleviate the stress and anxiety from your life.
Oh my gosh. Because I was doing my bars run sporadically for a couple years and then monthly in 2020. And then in 2021, I decided to become a practitioner. And quickly after
Okay.
that, a facilitator. Bars, it was like a magic wand being waved. And for that whole hour and a half or hour, and then the whole moment, I was like, where did even any of that go? Like, it just disappeared from my brain. Like, it just reset it. And I was like, good morning. And I was like, this is insane. Like, I've done how many years of meditation? I try and do meditation, I was trying to do it daily. And I get that like sense of
Right.
peace and that like connection. I was like, okay, great. But the deepness of the okay, great during a bar session, I was like, whoa. And so from that, I wasn't perfect right off the bat. I was like, literally, things were not in my brain anymore. It felt like there was room. And then I started learning my practitioner would offer me a tool, right?
Okay.
The very simple one. Who does this belong to? Or what else is possible? And I started using those in the moments. And then I would get my
Okay.
bars run again. And so like more space, more space, more space, more space. From gaining more space, I could connect to different things. I was finding joy. I was actually able to implement all the teachings that I was seeing in other realities. I could actually implement the things that actually I liked or aligned with me without feeling like I was getting it wrong all the time. And that's what the bars is really amazing at, is removing those judgments. Because something might actually work for you, but you have a lifetime lifetimes of judgments around that one thing. You're not even aware of it. And bars will
Right.
help clear out those judgments.
Right. So, if I say it was a continuous journey from such a long time, and it was
Yeah.
like you got a bar session, a space was created in your mind, and then you started getting more bar session, and eventually it started opening more and more spaces, and then you finally decided to become a practitioner, and then started offering the sessions to others, and finally, I guess around in 2021 you became a facilitator and started teaching people to become a practitioner. That was an amazing journey, and because we have gone through this journey, so we are able to relate to each other very well, and almost everyone has gone through stress and anxiety. So uh, uh, I have a lot of clients whom I have served, and they have reported this problem of stress and anxiety, and I have given them a session and multiple sessions. And one common question whenever I start giving a session to anyone is how soon we will start seeing the results. So I'm sure persons would have asked you also, what's your take on that? How soon a person will start seeing a considerable amount of changes in their life?
Well, it's interesting, and this is where I'll maybe bring up some of the research that's done around bars, because from an observational standpoint, change can happen instantly for certain people. People have not decided to kill themselves because they've had their bars run. Now, to me, that is all in the proof in the world to have your bars run if you're thinking some interesting thoughts and you don't want to take some more pharmaceutical approaches. Get your bars run. At least, it's not going to kill you, so at least try. For people, for some of my clients, they've had their bars run and then they've gone to their family and they've just immediately been like, I'm not going to do what I've been doing for the last 20 years. I'm switching my job. They had their bars run once, like total career change. And I'm like, okay, cool. You can see from if you're scanning the brain, and this has been done by Dr. Fannin and Dr. Hope in a massive research project that they put on. They saw when you were scanning a brain of someone getting their bars run, before and after. The before scans are blue and lots of red, and this is where an EEGK or EGK, it's too early to make acronyms up in my brain. Basically, it's the deviation of -3 or +3. So your brain's not regulating when it's super blue or super red. And parts or all of it. And during the bar session, they were scanning the brain, taking snapshots, and you could see the brain start to transform the waves. Beta waves were coming in. All this green was happening. So you were releasing all the blue, all the red. That's significant as a change is going on in your body physiologically. That can manifest for everyone in so many different ways. When the brain is regulating, which is instant change, you don't know what that's going to actually turn out for somebody. I had a kid with some leg pain, and I gave him the question, who does this belong to? And I started running his bars. He's about 17, and he got really intense pain. It kind of intensified, and then I was like, okay, expand out. I was walking him through a tool, getting his bars around. They were really intense, he was feeling them. And then afterwards, no pain.
No pain.
Zero.
Right.
He's like, where did it go? And I'm like, I don't know, you let it go. Right? So
magic happened.
But the anxiety that it was giving him, the stress of just being in pain was translating into all of the parts of his life, his school, his activities. It became a stressor. And so when he didn't have it, he was like, oh my God, I can go play hockey? I'm like, yeah, go play hockey. He didn't want to move. I'm like, no, go move your body now. Go be in joy. So for me, it's like change can happen slowly.
Yeah.
People have said, "Oh, you're not so stressed anymore." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I get my bars run every week. Like, what is stress, right? It's just a moment to play in something." So people have noticed things over time,
Right.
but I've seen instant change from people changing their jobs, getting out of stressful relationships, literally getting out of
Right.
physical pain. Um, for me, it's like that joy and that happiness.
Right. Right.
I, I don't
Interesting story here.
right? I don't associate with being an overwhelmed person anymore, which changes everything I do in my life when I don't
Right.
operate from that point of view. So, yeah, that's a long story, but yes, change can be instant and change can be over time.
Over time. True. So every person experiences change in their own way.
Yeah.
Some person get relief in one session, and one session will change their entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Someone will take little more time, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone. This is a journey basically. It's not a medicine, and
Mm-hmm.
because stress or anxiety contributes to something on our energetic level. The
Mm-hmm.
energy is not right in the body, and that's how they create stress and anxiety. And when we take a medicine, it suppresses that thing, but it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't actually work on the root of the cause. But when we do a bar session, it actually works on that energetic level and try to release those point of views which created that
Mm-hmm.
problem. And once
Mm-hmm.
those point of views are released, yeah, the body changes, the pain goes away, the career started moving out, the
Mm-hmm.
financial starts sorting out, the relationships get start going better. So
Mm-hmm.
I would like to share one example of my client. This person is around 20-year-old boy and who has been into stress and depression from last 6 7 years now. And his father contacted me. I went there and I gave him a session. And the next day, his father called me up and then reported that it has worked a magic, like a magic for him. They have tried a lot of medicine, therapy, but nothing was actually working out for them. The, the day I met that person, he was down. He was sitting just like putting his head down. He was not talking to me. He was not making an eye contact. And then I just asked him to lie down, be relaxed, and don't think about anything. And then I started giving him a therapy. Next day, his father reported that he was happy. He was talking to their parents like a normal way. So I have seen that kind of changes in my client's life also. And there are a few people who have asked for multiple sessions, and then after multiple sessions, they saw a considerable amount of change in their life. That's how
Mm-hmm.
the bars work.
That's beautiful. That like brought me to tears just to be back to being a kid or a young adult or just being back in your life. You're back in your life when you get your bars run, I find. I'm more present. And I've had
Right.
my bars run so many times, and every time it's that presence that we're always asking for, but it's actually like it's within us, and we don't have to go searching outside of our life. And so when you get your bars run, like that kid, how much stuff was he holding on to that wasn't his? And he allowed you to help him let all that go. And that's beautiful. That's so beautiful. That's so empowering and powerful. Wow.
Right.
Very cool.
Right. And same thing happened with me if I remember my past. It was around 3 4 years ago, and I was uh, struggling with my life, with my stress level, things that I was doing. I was doing multiple things, and nothing was working out for me at
Mm-hmm.
that point of time. I was trying hard, and that started ruining up my relationship. My uh, uh, the job was not going well. I was doing certain other things; those were not going well.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, I decided to quit everything, and then I went to a depression kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I came to know about this bar, and then I thought, okay, let me get one session. And nothing much happened to me, frankly speaking. But over the
Mm-hmm.
period of time, uh, I took multiple sessions, and then I learned bar, and I started practicing. My wife started practicing on me. I started practicing on her, and eventually and gradually things started moving out. And now the life is completely changed. It's a 360-degree change now.
That's
So now
amazing.
this word stress and anxiety is no more there in my life.
When it even comes up, I don't know for you, but for me, when it comes up, I go, I'm a little stressed out right now. There's a lot going on, but it has no charge.
It
It's
has no
not
charge.
like an
Correct.
attachment. It's like this attachment to it. And when people are like stressed out, and anyway, maybe my husband will say something different if he's like, oh no, you can get stressed out. But I really honestly don't feel the same attachment to what it was 4 years ago. Like it's very, very different. And when I see people like making stress about them and like
Right.
attaching it to their life and really identifying with it and holding on to it, I'm like, why are we doing this for? Why? Why are you doing this again? Like there's another way.
Yes.
Or, when, you're saying slowly over time, like that's amazing because sometimes instant change is not always a kindness to us or our life or to our bodies. We need to like, are the bodies going to do it and the universe is going to provide it when you're ready to receive it. And so those kind of incremental changes, you eventually will zoom out and be like, oh, look at how much change happened.
Yes.
And you weren't having to take anything, you weren't having to be hooked up to anything. You can learn it, anybody can learn it. And I think the fact that your wife started practicing it and you were doing it on each other, that's so
We are doing
beautiful
on. Yeah.
because then you're changing multiple planes, right? Multiple realities. And you're removing
Right.
all the judgments and you can just tap into getting your bars run wherever, whenever. And I think that's so beautiful, like just the gradual, massive change that occurred.
Right. Right. So that's the power of access bars, I would say. And would you like to talk about the science behind it?
Yeah, so I mentioned a little bit with Dr. Fannin. There are two
Yes.
researchers that did a lot of work. They've both got some videos out there on
Yes.
YouTube. Um, Hope is in anxiety and the depression in a more like psychological point of view. But basically, out of that research, and even people wearing, and this isn't like hard science or what, I don't know what a hard science is, but whatever. But people who wear like Whoop straps, like trackers, like health
Right.
trackers,
Right.
their bar sessions tracked, their stress levels, their heart levels, their REM sleep that their tracker tracks are so significant that the program will tell them whatever you did between this hour and this hour, you need to do more of because it's helping you.
Right. Right.
So
Correct.
the science from Dr. Fannin and Dr. Hope basically tracking, and Dr. Hope was tracking research around depression and anxiety. They found that 85% of people with one significantly decreased their anxiety, significantly decreased their depression. Many people were able to wean themselves off of whatever they were on within weeks or live out life and had bars in their life to continue.
Okay, I guess your connection is again getting unstable.
I haven't moved. Um,
No worries at all.
Other than that, the data is very. Um, there's been some bars data coming out recently about bars and businesses. So
Right.
using bars as a tool in businesses for self-care or employment care and mental health. And so people were doing it in, I believe it was Mexico. There was a group of practitioners that were doing a study and bringing bars to first responders in
Okay.
Mexico City. And at first, a lot of the first responders were kind of like, I don't know why I'm getting this, but they, gave all these people surveys before and after their sessions, and they
Right.
found that over 80% of them at first didn't really feel anything, but almost all, I think except for 3 or 4 people, completed the,
Mhm.
I believe it was 6 weeks, completed the 6 weeks and reported significant changes in their job environment, in their stress
Right.
levels, in their stress levels at home, and their overall well-being increased. Like their overall well-being increased while all their stress levels and anxiety and um, uh, sleep patterns also, they got more sleep. And so these are people that
Yes.
were like high stress environment jobs. There's another study that just came out of South Africa with an insurance company that also they ran bars weekly. That was an amazing, beautiful study to read, just the testimonials coming out of people. So
Right.
I feel like everyone's experiences is way more impactful than me hooking myself up to a machine and testing my brain waves. The fact that your beta levels, we know, drop. The fact that your heart rate level drops,
Right.
that is consistent. The fact that your breathing calms down. You're not in a hyper state. You're calm and relaxed. We know that that changes and helps the body heal. It helps the body regulate itself. Your hormone system can relax and calm down. You're not excreting, serotonin everywhere. You're not excreting um, the stressors anymore. You're calming down. When you're constantly relaxed or more often relaxed, your body can repair, your body can heal. We know that there's research that backs that in so many different fields. What the bars is doing is clearing out so much stuff to allow even more change to occur in people's life. And so just hearing these people go into these businesses, running bars for 4 weeks, 6 weeks as trial runs, and then hearing them, share the testimonial, share the quantifiable things. There's nothing but positivity, nothing. Um, PTSD from people who are working in high stress environments, gone.
Right.
They can re-enter back into work. And in jails, there's been a couple places, one Mexico
Mhm.
juvenile jail, a couple other jails around the world that bars has been brought in. And calmness, especially the juvenile jails for the
Okay.
young, the youth, they're getting grades. Their grades are going up. They are less aggressive. They find that they have
Okay.
more um, potential in life and their purpose, like they have a purpose. They don't need to be in this cycle. That
Right.
change, like when you start changing, someone who thinks that they're worthless and you start changing and they start believing that they have presence and purpose in this world,
Right.
you can't quantify what that's going to do. But that has the potential to do anything and everything. And I think that's so beautiful. So there's bars being used right now in so many different places. And the research is just with bars in business, the section of access, there's more and more of these studies. I have them linked on my website that you can go read
Yeah.
that are just being presented. These are everyday people and all their experiences. And some are more quantified. Others are just testimonial based. This is what it did for this client.
Right.
This is what it did for this client. And if it's being called to you and you're curious about it, I just say go for it. Like it literally cannot hurt you at all.
Yes.
So it's a win-win.
Win-win. Correct. In fact, the bars is being practiced from last 30 years since Mr. Gary Douglas founded it, and there was no study available at that point of time. And he start he started practicing it, and he kept on doing it, and people started seeing results. And in last couple of years, like I guess in 2014 or 2012, the scientists started taking interest and they started doing a research, and then they have come up with an amazing studies. and those papers are available on internet, and there are a lot of YouTube videos of
Tons.
the people who have experienced their testimonials are there, the scientific research is there. So there are a lot of information available.
Yeah,
And you
it's
can
really,
obviously visit Akeisha's website also.
you can Google everything. I find if you Google Access Consciousness blog, a lot of
Right.
these are linked to their blog, and you can search pretty much any topic of where it's been done, and something usually pops up. Or the Access website, accessconsciousness.com, has all the information. But yeah, like you said, there's a lot on YouTube, and there's a lot of practitioners, a lot of conscious facilitators that have written about things, have like even Dr. Anne, who's a therapist and counselor. She has tons of experience working with families and kids, and just her clientele alone is a plethora of knowledge about the power of using the tools of access. Not necessarily the bars, but the tools of access. So if you're curious about anything, YouTube it, Google it, go on their website. There is no shortage of information, testimonials, experiences, and people around the world with over, 500,000 practitioners plus in the world, in 179 countries, multiple languages, and with over, I think we're close maybe to 8,500 maybe now. Maybe that's a little bit of stretch, but the last I heard was there was 8,000 facilitators of bars in the world. Right. So there's no place you cannot find this. We are everywhere. And we want to help you get out of the anxiety and the stress of life and find the joy again.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this information. I guess there is one question from one of my friends. Let me read out that question. What is the basic concept of access bars? If you can elaborate in layman's language. Ravindra, we have already discussed this question in my first live, but again, I would like Akeisha to throw some light on this question. Just a layman language.
In layman's term, from a bar's perspective, it's defragging your brain.
Yes.
From a layman's perspective of what access bars is, from my point of view, I'm only a BF and a symphony practitioner. I'm not a CF, but in the manual, what Gary speaks about, what all of access is creating a different reality, whatever that is to you. It's not about fighting it. This reality is about creating your reality, creating a different reality.
So it's about creating a different reality, Ravindra. And we can discuss one-on-one because I have just blocked 30 minutes from Akeisha. So the time is up now. And thank you so much for coming over here in such an early morning time and giving us invaluable information regarding bars, the science behind it, how it can help us in stress and anxiety. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's so great to be here.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.